What was your excuse 3 years ago? Seriously, think about it, because there's a good chance you're still using the same one today, and that's the scary part. Most people don't destroy their lives in one day. They do it through small, lazy days that feel completely harmless. One day of procrastination, one weekend wasted, one more promise to start tomorrow. None of them feel dangerous. That's why they are. A few years ago, I came across an old notebook. Nothing special, just a notebook full of goals, things I wanted to do, skills I wanted to learn, projects I wanted to start. And as I flipped through the pages, I noticed something strange. The goals had changed, the years had changed, but the excuses were exactly the same. Not now. I'm too tired. I'll start next week. I just need a little more time. And suddenly, I wasn't looking at a notebook anymore. I was looking at years of my life. That's when I realized something. You don't remember the days that built your future, and you don't remember the days that destroyed it, because both of them looked completely ordinary. Nobody remembers a random Tuesday. Nobody remembers an average Wednesday. But those days matter more than we think, because your life is not built in dramatic moments. It's built in ordinary ones.
And that's where most people get trapped. They think the dangerous days are obvious. The days when everything falls apart. The days of failure, the days of disaster, but they're not. The dangerous days are the ones that feel harmless, the ones that whisper, relax, you can do it tomorrow. The problem isn't that you waste one day. The problem is that you think one day doesn't matter. One day feels small, one day feels cheap. One day feels replaceable. But life has a strange way of collecting those days, and eventually it hands them back to you as your reality. Think about a wasted year. It doesn't feel like 365 lost days. It feels like nothing happened. That's why it's dangerous. A lost year is rarely one big decision. It's 365 small decisions. 365 times you said, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And then suddenly, a year is gone. Have you ever looked back and wondered where the time went? Not because you were building something, not because you were chasing something, but because you were waiting. Waiting to feel motivated. Waiting to feel ready, waiting for the perfect moment. And while you were waiting, life kept moving.
That's the part nobody talks about. The world moves whether you move or not. The clock doesn't care. Opportunities don't wait. Years don't pause. And laziness knows that. That's why laziness is so deceptive, because it doesn't punish you immediately. If you touch fire, you get burned immediately. If you eat spoiled food, you get sick. Cause and effect, simple. But laziness, no. Laziness says, don't worry, nothing bad will happen today. And it's right. Nothing bad happens today. That's why people keep listening. The punishment doesn't arrive today, or tomorrow, or next week. It arrives later, quietly, patiently. The damage is invisible. That's what makes it dangerous. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly fail. You don't ruin your future in a weekend. It happens quietly, one harmless day at a time, until one day you look at your life and realize you are living the result of thousands of harmless days, the days you thought didn't matter, the days you promised yourself you'd make up for later, the days you forgot, but life didn't.
And that's a terrifying realization, because suddenly you understand something. You were never losing time. You were losing pieces of your life, pieces of your potential, pieces of your future, pieces of the person you could have become. Not all at once, just a little at a time. So little that you never noticed, until the gap became impossible to ignore. Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe that's why this video found you. Maybe deep down, you already know the excuse you've been repeating. And maybe you're tired of hearing it. Because here's the truth. Your future is not being created by the days that feel important. It's being created by the days that don't. The ordinary days, the forgettable days, the harmless days, the days that quietly become your life. So before you tell yourself tomorrow one more time, ask yourself something. How many tomorrows have already become years? Because one day you'll wake up and you'll realize the problem wasn't that you ran out of time. The problem was that you thought you had more of it.